The Australian outback stretches for miles, a place where silence feels alive and distance has its own weight. It's the kind of land that swallows sound, swallows footprints, and sometimes swallows people. And somewhere within that endless horizon, a 4-year-old boy named Gus Lamont vanished without a trace. For weeks, search crews combed every inch of the rugged terrain surrounding his family's property at Oak Park Station. Helicopters hovered overhead, drones mapped the red earth from above, volunteers walked shoulder to shoulder through the heat, calling his name, hoping for even a single sound in return. But the land gave nothing back. No footprints, no clothing, no answers. At first, everyone thought it was simple. A little boy had wandered too far, lost in the open. But as days turned to weeks, something didn't add up. There were no signs of struggle, no animal traces, no environmental clues. It was as if the desert itself refused to tell the truth. And now, that silence has finally cracked. Former homicide detective Gary Jubelin, a man known for his precision and relentless pursuit of justice, has spoken publicly. What he's revealed has sent shockwaves through the investigation and forced police to shift their focus entirely. Because this case may no longer be about a child lost in the wild. It might be about what happened among those closest to him. Sources close to the investigation have confirmed that detectives are now looking closely at specific individuals connected to the Lamont property. People who were there that day, whose timelines don't quite align, whose explanations leave small but dangerous gaps. This new direction, sparked by Jubelin's statements, changes everything. It turns this from a story about distance and chance to one about proximity and intent. And that's why in this video, we're taking you deep into what's really happening behind the headlines, the key players, the new evidence, the subtle shifts that could unravel the truth about what happened to Gus Lamont. Because somewhere between silence and suspicion lies the answer. So if you believe every child deserves to be found, and if you want to follow every step as this case unfolds, make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with us until the end of this video. Because what we're about to reveal may completely change how you see this case. When Gary Jubelin speaks, Australia listens. He's not a man drawn to speculation or theatrics. His words are chosen, weighed, and spoken only when he believes they matter. So when he broke his silence about the disappearance of 4-year-old Gus Lamont, it wasn't a passing comment. It was a signal, quiet, deliberate, and precise, that something inside the investigation had changed. According to Jubelin, police have shifted focus. After exhausting the physical search of the property and its surrounding terrain, investigators are now turning inward, to people. To those who were there, who had reason to be there, and whose familiarity with the Lamont property might hold the key to what really happened. These aren't random re-interviews. This is targeted analysis. Every name on the list has a connection, whether through work, family, or circumstance. Detectives are methodically retracing their steps, reconstructing not just where each person was that afternoon, but what they were doing in the minutes before and after Gus disappeared. Jubelin describes this stage as the elimination phase. It's a clinical term for a very human process, proving, beyond doubt, where everyone stood when the world shifted for one family. Where they were, when they arrived, when they left, and whether their words match the silent evidence recorded in data. Police are reportedly cross-referencing phone signals, GPS traces, and call records within a 15-kilometer radius of Oak Park Station. Each digital footprint is plotted against the growing timeline of the day. Investigators are asking a simple but chilling question. Who was exactly where they said they were? And just as crucially, who wasn't? The most revealing clues, Jubelin hinted, may not come from what's been found, but from what's missing. New data warrants have allowed detectives to dive deeper into communication histories. Deleted messages, Sudden offline windows, unexplained gaps in call activity. Those silent hours can be louder than words. Someone's phone dropped off the network just as the first search began. Another device reconnected miles away, long before any public alert was issued. To most, these might seem like coincidences. To investigators, they're coordinates, markers that could lead straight to truth. Still, Jubelin avoided sensational claims. He named no suspects, offered no theories. Instead, he spoke with the restraint of someone who knows the weight of premature conclusions. But beneath that restraint was conviction, the unmistakable sense that the investigation is closing in. He believes the truth is near, and that someone within that trusted circle, someone who has sat at the same table, shared the same air, knows exactly what happened on that quiet September afternoon. This revelation reframes everything. What began as a desperate search through the dust and heat has become a forensic reconstruction of behavior, a study of human movement, emotion, and omission. The terrain is no longer the mystery. People are. And across Australia, Jubelin's comments have reignited more than public interest. They've reignited debate. Was this a tragic accident lost to the elements, or something orchestrated, hidden behind routine and silence? If there was deception, even unintentional, then for weeks someone has been living with the unbearable truth. As Jubelin once said, and as investigators now remind themselves, the truth doesn't hide in the bush. It hides in plain sight, in people's choices. And those choices are now under the brightest light they've ever faced. The focus of the investigation has shifted. The search isn't about the distance a child might have wandered or the harsh terrain he vanished into. It's about the people who were present, the choices they made, and the small inconsistencies that can reveal the truth. Investigators are now charting human behavior as carefully as they once charted the land. Every person connected to the property is being accounted for. When they arrived, when they left, where they were at specific times, what they did, and whether their accounts align with digital evidence. Every detail is cross-checked, from phone signals to GPS data to call and message histories, building a timeline that may expose gaps or contradictions. This stage of the investigation is painstaking and methodical. Detectives are no longer scanning the horizon for footprints. They are scanning timelines for anomalies. A missing phone ping, a brief lapse in communication, a statement that doesn't match digital data. These are no longer minor details. They are threads that could unravel the full story. Behavioral patterns are now central to the case. Investigators are looking for 3 critical markers. 1. Access and familiarity. Individuals who knew the property well enough to move without drawing attention. 2. Responses under scrutiny. Behaviors that may appear calm or rehearsed rather than natural concern. 3. Reactions to pressure, signs of rushed decisions, concealed movements, or attempts to cover up inconsistencies. Forensic teams continue to pair this behavioral analysis with environmental evidence. Soil and dust samples, clothing fibers, and trace material collected from the property are re-examined with precision. Even subtle disturbances in the landscape are being measured against the known movements of those present. This combination of human behavior, digital evidence, and forensic science marks a critical turning point. It moves the investigation beyond the physical search and into reconstruction, a careful rebuilding of what happened, minute by minute, using every piece of verifiable evidence. Every day, every observation, every second of silence and communication is being analyzed. The investigators are no longer asking simply, "Where is the child?" They are asking, "Who has the answers, and why haven't they spoken yet?" The landscape may still hold secrets, but now the investigation is focused where the answers are most likely to be found, in human actions and choices. With the investigation shifting from terrain to people, the questions have changed, and they are precise, deliberate, and calculated. Every lead, every discrepancy, every small detail is being scrutinized. The first question is simple, yet critical. Who last saw the child? This isn't just about identifying a witness, it's about establishing a verified timeline. Detectives are carefully comparing statements, noting even slight differences in recollection, and cross-referencing these with timestamps from messages, phone activity, and movement logs. Every second matters. Next, who left the property that afternoon? Knowing who was present and who came and went helps investigators narrow the circle of potential involvement or knowledge. Any unaccounted for movement, however brief, becomes a point of focus. It could reveal patterns that explain the disappearance or expose contradictions in timelines. Another key question: whose stories don't align? Even small inconsistencies can be telling. A person may misremember a detail, give conflicting times, or report being elsewhere. Investigators pay close attention to these mismatches, comparing statements with physical and digital evidence. Each discrepancy becomes a thread to follow. Finally, what gaps exist in communications or behavior? Investigators are reviewing call logs, messages, and device activity, looking for silent periods, deleted content, or unusual behavior. These empty spaces often speak as loudly as words themselves. Someone's choice to be offline, to omit details, or to act inconsistently can reveal more than a direct statement. This line of questioning is methodical, clinical, and highly structured. It's designed not to accuse, but to reconstruct the afternoon with accuracy. Minute by minute, investigators are piecing together a map of human movement, attention, and opportunity. In cases like this, small answers lead to big revelations. Each verified fact narrows the possibilities. Each inconsistency adds focus. The questions aren't just about locating a missing child. They are about understanding the circumstances, the sequence of decisions, actions, and choices that led to the disappearance. The investigator's work is painstaking, but every question asked, every timeline checked, and every discrepancy examined brings them closer to understanding the truth. In a case where the landscape gave no answers, these questions now guide the search, not through the outback, but through human behavior and the evidence left behind. With the physical search of the land yielding little, investigators have turned to a new kind of terrain: the digital landscape and human traces. Every device, every communication, every movement is now part of the map they are reconstructing. Digital evidence has become a critical tool. Phone pings from nearby towers are cross-referenced with GPS data from vehicles. Call logs and message histories are examined for anomalies, gaps, deletions, or activity that doesn't align with reported movements. Even moments of silence, periods when a device was offline or a message wasn't sent, are now considered significant. These digital footprints are invisible to most, but to trained investigators, they form a pattern, a sequence that can point to truth. Alongside the digital trail, human behavior continues to be analyzed with precision. Where people went, how they reacted to questions, and even the timing of routine activities are scrutinized. Investigators look for the overlap between physical presence and digital evidence, creating a matrix that reconstructs the actions of everyone connected to the property that day. Forensic specialists also continue to examine the environment for physical traces, tiny fibers, soil disturbances, and other subtle markers that might indicate where someone moved or what they touched. These human footprints, when paired with digital traces, create a detailed picture of the day's events. This phase of the investigation is meticulous. It's a careful weaving together of the tangible and the virtual. The footsteps in the dust, the signals in the network, and the behavioral patterns of everyone present. Nothing is overlooked, no movement is too small, no silence is meaningless. By mapping both the human and digital footprints, investigators hope to identify not just where the child may have been, but who holds knowledge of what really happened. The case is no longer about chance discovery in the outback. It's about methodical reconstruction, piece by piece, until the truth emerges from both the land and the patterns left behind by people. Every trace, digital or human, brings them closer to answers. And in a case where the desert offered nothing, these footprints may finally lead to clarity. Gary Jubelin's insight carries a weight few voices in Australia can match. A former homicide detective, his experience in complex missing person investigations gives his words a precision and authority that immediately shifts attention. When he speaks about the Lamont case, people listen, not for speculation, but for clarity. Recently, Jubelin highlighted a pivotal change in the investigation. Police have moved beyond searching the terrain. They are now focused on human behavior, on the decisions, actions, and small inconsistencies of those connected to the property. He described it as a turning point, the moment when an investigation stops chasing shadows in the land and begins tracing the patterns of people. Jubelin emphasized that investigators are not making assumptions. They are reconstructing sequences, analyzing timelines, and studying digital and physical evidence together. This approach is deliberate. It's about identifying gaps, contradictions, or anomalies that could reveal truths hidden in plain sight. He explained that someone close to the child, someone familiar with the property, likely knows more than they've shared. Jubelin described 3 behavioral markers detectives are now watching. 1. Familiar access. Those who can move across the property unnoticed. 2. Emotional detachment. Individuals whose reactions may appear calm or rehearsed rather than genuine. 3. Panic concealment. Signs of hurried decisions or attempts to hide mistakes after the disappearance. His revelation is not a public accusation. It's a measured insight, a signal that the investigation has shifted into a phase where patterns, not chance, will lead to answers. Every action, every silence, every small behavioral cue could now be significant. By framing the case this way, Jubelin reminds the public and the investigators alike that truth rarely stays hidden indefinitely. In his words, the investigation is now looking where the answers are most likely to be found, not in the empty outback, but in the actions and choices of people who were there that day. This perspective gives the case renewed focus and urgency. It underscores that in the weeks since the child disappeared, the most important clues have always been close at hand, embedded in human behavior and the small details that only careful, patient investigation can uncover. Even as the investigation has moved from searching the land to analyzing behavior and digital evidence, the community around Oak Park Station remains deeply involved. Junta and the surrounding region have felt the disappearance personally, not just as a news story, but as a shared, living concern. Locals continue to support the family, quietly and persistently. Volunteers revisit familiar tracks, check old wells, and walk paths that may seem insignificant to outsiders, all in the hope that small actions could make a difference. They exchange updates, share observations, and keep the memory of the missing child alive, refusing to let the story fade into silence. The emotional weight of the case is palpable. For the family, every day is a mix of hope and fear. Even small developments, such as the focus shifting to human behavior, bring both relief and anxiety. Relief because it shows the investigation is thorough and detailed. Anxiety because it raises the possibility that the truth may involve someone they know, someone they trusted. Across the town, Conversations revolve around more than speculation. People discuss timelines, phone activity, and patterns of movement, trying to piece together what they know with what investigators have revealed. The tension is quiet but persistent, a reminder that the disappearance has touched more than just one household. Community efforts, while informal, mirror the precision of the investigation. It is a collective vigilance, neighbors calling out names, scanning the horizon, and monitoring changes in the property that others might overlook. Their work is grounded in care and attention, not in sensationalism. This collective focus is more than emotional. It's practical. The presence of attentive, invested eyes in the region supplements the official investigation. Each observation, no matter how small, becomes part of the ongoing effort to find answers. Ultimately, the emotional undercurrent of this case is defined by resilience. The community continues to act as a living network of support, awareness, and remembrance. In every conversation, every small patrol, every quiet observation, the people of Junta send a clear message. The missing child is not forgotten, and the search for answers continues. In the outback, in digital traces, and in the hearts of those who care. With the investigation now focused on people, behavior, and digital evidence, the implications go beyond a single property or a single afternoon. What is unfolding at Oak Park Station reflects a broader truth about modern missing person investigations. The answers are rarely found in the land alone. They are found at the intersection of human behavior, technology, and meticulous detective work. The shift from searching the terrain to analyzing human patterns represents a strategic turning point. It signals that investigators are confident they are narrowing the circle of those who can provide the most critical information. The case is no longer just about chance discovery or luck. It is about methodical reconstruction, about following the evidence where it leads, and about understanding that even small discrepancies in behavior or communication can illuminate the truth. For the family and community, this transition offers a mix of hope and urgency. It demonstrates that the investigation is active, deliberate, and adapting. Every unanswered question, every gap in communication, every inconsistency becomes an avenue to discovery, and a reminder that the truth has not been lost. At a broader level, this focus underscores a key principle in cases like this. Silence itself can be a clue. When no evidence is found in the environment, the most telling signals may come from human choices. Who acted normally? Who hesitated? Who failed to account for their movements? These observations are now central to building a clear picture of that afternoon. The broader lesson is clear. Modern investigations must combine traditional search methods with behavioral analysis and digital forensics. Physical evidence, while critical, is only one piece of the puzzle. By integrating these approaches, investigators increase the likelihood of identifying not only what happened, but who holds the knowledge to solve the case. This is a case that reminds us that closure and justice require patience, precision, and focus. It is a process that honors both the missing child and the community that refuses to let the story fade. Every step forward in the investigation is a step toward understanding, accountability, and ultimately, resolution. The bigger picture is both a warning and a promise. While time may pass, truth does not disappear. It waits for diligence, attention, and courage to bring it to light. The case of the missing child is far from over. From the endless expanse of the outback to the smallest traces of human behavior, the investigation has evolved, and every step forward brings it closer to answers. As we've seen, the search is no longer just about terrain or chance. It's about people, patterns, and the careful reconstruction of events. Every timeline checked, every phone ping reviewed, every inconsistency examined. could hold the key to unlocking the truth. The community remains vigilant, the family remains hopeful, and the investigation continues, patient, methodical, and unwavering. If you followed this story, if you believe that every child deserves to be found, that every unanswered question deserves attention, then stay engaged. Share this story. Follow updates. Keep asking the hard questions. Because silence alone will not bring justice. The truth is out there, and one day it will be revealed. But until then, awareness matters, vigilance matters, and your attention matters. Subscribe, like, and stay tuned for updates. Because in cases like this, truth never stays buried.